Ms. Carlene, roll call, please.
Mr. Jones. Here. Ms. Posito. Here. Mr. Grow. Here. Mr. Melvin. Here. Mr. Bourgeois. Here. Mr. Paralew. Here. Mr. Oten. Here. Mr. LaFont. Here. Mr. Lorraine. Here. Mr. Cantrell.
If everyone please rise. The invocation will be led by Mrs. Posito, followed by the pledge led by Mr. Michael Crow.
Lord, we stand here in gratitude. Thank you for all the gifts you have bestowed upon us as individuals and as a parish. Thank you for all the wonderful things that are in our futures. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Section A, approval. Actually, before we move on, I want to acknowledge a guest, Mr. David Cavell. He's sitting against the wall in the back. He is the district director for United States Representative Congressman Garrett Graves' office. So thank you for being here tonight. Basically, from what we were told from the American Legion guy, last meeting, he said if there's 2 flags, it should be on the right. If there's 3, it should be in the middle. So research that for us and get back with me.
Well, the book says the American flag is always to the right. So if you face this way, it's right, but that's not right. You facing this way, it's on that side. That's what the book says.
Bring the book for me. Thank you. That'll work. 223 Elm Drive, Raceland, Louisiana, 70394. I'll see you tomorrow. All right, Section A, approval of minutes. Number 1, motion to accept minutes of the June 27, 2017 regular session. Moved by Mr. Bourgeois, second by? Anyone? Second by? Mrs. Posito. All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Section B, presentations and our updates. Parish President James Cantrell will present the Employee of the Month Award for the month of June. And thank you for bringing that up. We appreciate it. I just want to make sure we're right before we move it again. All right? Yeah, he's on the Monuments Commission down the bayou for the,
Tommy Tabor.
you sure? Okay, so he's Thibodeau.
Tommy Tabor with you.
All
Ready
right.
to proceed? Employee of the Month for the June of 2017 is Jennifer Dufresne. Jennifer has been with the parish for over 18 years. She is the Recreation Manager in Matthews. Here are comments from her nomination. Jennifer has gone beyond the realm of her job duties. She has been without a supervisor for one of her recreation districts until recently. She has managed to oversee the hiring of all summer recreation employees while managing that district. She has shown a great amount of drive and perseverance through a time when others would have struggled.
Congratulations, Jennifer. All right, is that it for the awards? All right, next item, Mr. Barry Leday, Treasurer of the Fire Protection District Number 7 Board, to present an annual report. Mr. Leday, when you step up, name and address for the record, please.
Barry Leday, 210 Rio Grande Shan, Thibodeau, the treasurer for Fire District Number 7.
I don't think the mic's on. Slide it towards you.
How's that?
Oh, yes.
We had a beginning balance of $40,518.35. Income, $88,736.45 of Lafourche ad valorem tax. We had a grant from 3085 Company, which is a L'Oreal Foundation, of $15,000. Insurance rebate of $7,213.68. A total $151,498.30. We had an ending balance of $30,829.11. We managed to deposit $35,000 in our capital improvement account, which gave us an ending balance of $136,823.13, which will be used for future purchase of fire trucks. As y'all all know, a fire truck ain't cheap today. All reports were turned in to the parish by email. The audit was completed and sent to the state and the parish. All minutes were published. We managed to change out some hydrants. We're getting ready for a rating. We are now a Class 4. We will get rated next year. We purchased 4 new Scott Air packs, and we also, major purchase was a laptop and a projector for training. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
All right, next presentation, Ms. Laura Sanders, Director of the Lafourche Parish Public Library, to present the Library Board of Control's annual report. Name and address for the record, please.
Hello, Laura Sanders, 212 Belmead Boulevard, Thibodaux, Louisiana, 70301.
Thank you.
What you're receiving is a copy of the annual report, which I give to you every year. As you know, the mission of the Lafourche Parish Library is to provide the residents of Lafourche Parish access to books and other resources that will inspire lifelong learning, advance knowledge, and strengthen our communities while embracing the rich heritage and the vibrant future of our parish. And I want to thank all of you here on the council and with the administration for always being very supportive of your libraries and your library system. I'm very grateful for that. Thank you so much. I'm just going to very briefly tell you about the amazing year we had in 2016. I think that can best be illustrated if you will turn to the very back page. I made just a very simple graph for you that kind of shows the increases that we have had to some of our basic services. Our library visits were up about 11%, with a little over 500,000 extra visits this past year from previous years. We added around 110,000 more items to our collections, where we saw customers check out over 140,000 items last year. Our classes and events were well attended, with over 200,000 people coming to attend our unique programs and classes. The largest jump, as you can see, is in our electronic resources, and I'd like to explain that to you real quick. We purchased a software called EBSCO Discovery Service. EBSCO Discovery Service allows a one search bar option, such as Google, which we're all familiar with, to search everything that is available through our library, database results, books, magazines, everything we have with one search option. You no longer have to figure out what database do I need to look in to find this information. You can search it right there on the front page with one bar. This has caused people to have a more Google-like experience, which people understand a little easier. It's made their searches easier, their results more robust, and as you can see, people are using it, and they seem to be loving it. We've also added a new database called OnePlay, which is an online gaming resource, which everybody loves games. I think I'm the only person who doesn't, and people love that. Our reading program was a success in 2016. We saw more adults involved last year than we have seen in the past. We did see fewer children signed up, but we saw a lot larger number of young adults. So what we believe is happening is as our kids are growing, they're staying with us, which is very exciting. In 2016, our big addition to our collection was video games. Without Blockbuster being in our communities, we found that there was a niche that needed to be filled, so we chose to fill that. Having video games brings citizens in that might not visit the library for traditional items. For those reluctant readers that don't want to read a book, it gives them text to read and comprehend. So you might not get kids to read a book, but you can get them to read the text in that game. We also are checking out Views, which are preloaded children's movies, so parents can check those out and kids can watch appropriate movies. So I hope that you share my enthusiasm and excitement for our future of our library system. I think that we have a lot to offer. We are certainly more than books. I urge you to come and visit your library if you haven't lately, and if you have any questions, I am happy to answer them for you.
Ms. Lucy.
I just want to say I think y'all do a wonderful job. I normally go to the Thibodeau Library, but I went to another one, and I won't say which one because it's been a pleasure to just show up at your libraries, and your staff is amazing.
Thank you.
And they do such a good job. They're so helpful. So in addition to all these services, I think, you know, there's a credit to you and your staff for, I think, your welcoming personalities, and that brings people in too.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for that.
Thank you, and I will definitely pass that on to them. Thank you so much.
Mr. O'Town.
I just want to pass on that the community is very thankful that y'all got the sign back going in Lockport, so thank you.
That was hard to find somebody that actually did that, but I'm glad that we got it on too. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Laura, that's it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you.
All right, moving to Section C, Engineers, Architects Reports.
Dustin Rabley representing T. Baker Smith, 1100 South Acadia Road, Thibodeau. Couple projects. The first one is East Side drainage improvements. If you recall, I kind of reported on this a little more extensively last meeting. This is the award we got from statewide flood control. Basically, right now, we're in a holding pattern until we get the cooperative endeavor agreement from the state that Lafourche Parish government will have to enter into with the state to receive these funds. But that is being drafted. In the meantime, we are working to draft the cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish government and also Drainage District 1, which will be in that, you know, all the fees are split, the match is split 50-50. And we're also going to go ahead and get our sub-consultants. John Plaisance is also on this project and will receive a portion of it along with us as well. So that's what we have on that. And I would anticipate the cooperative endeavor from the state probably before a month from now. The next project is Cyprian Pump Station. We are in preliminary design phase. You know, one of the action items was we had to get our amendment into the administration. We did. That is on the agenda for tonight. I'm happy to say that the modeling effort has been completed by FTN. That was something that the Corps and DNR requested to make sure that when we turn these pumps on, being that it's an increased capacity in that station, we don't cause any problems within that Bayou Falls area, which the model showed that there wouldn't be one. I'm happy to say right before I sent this, I did get the Corps permit in for this project today. So that the only one I'm waiting on is DNR, and that's just simply because they took longer to review the model than the Corps did. But I don't see any problems with getting the permit for this project. Still working with the administration on the pipeline located to the pump station. Met with the parish president last week. We will be seeking some legal assistance. There's just the right-of-ways are old, and we need a few opinions on how to maneuver a few things in there. As far as what's next is to go ahead and get that DNR permit. We'll continue to coordinate the pipeline relocation issue that we have out there. We'll be finishing up preliminary design. We also have to coordinate that with Terracon. And then we have to execute the amendment to our agreement tonight, which is item 37. And if y'all want to discuss that amendment now, we can. We have discussed it in the past. The main thing with this amendment was the agreement that I was currently under was a different scope. It was it was an in-house pump station. This is not so much an in-house project anymore. So this is for us to go ahead, design a station, and through public bid, get a contractor to come in and build it. That's not what I was under agreement for previously. The second thing I do want to talk about is item number 40. This is actually put on by the administration. Working with them, they would like to procure some engine covers, stainless steel engine covers. So when you build this station, you have to do one of two things. We either have to build some kind of enclosure or roof to protect it from weathering, or you could purchase these cases. I will tell you that when you look at the cost of the cases for all three motors, I think it's right around 23,000, okay, right around that area. If I was to build a structure on top of that station, there's no way I can do it for that price. So this is a cost savings to this pump station. And we're going to work with the parish to incorporate that in the design and make it all work. If y'all have any questions on that, I'd also, you know, ask for y'all favorable passage of it as well, as it is going to save parish money.
Go ahead, Bo.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dustin. Could you just give me a shelf life on what the expectancy is without some sort of a cover even over this like it is, if we order those?
I would tell you that in a lot of cases, it's going to do more than a cover because it's going to protect it from all angles. It's stainless steel. We're not going to put a stainless steel structure on top of the pump station just because of the cost of that. I mean, for me to put a little roof on top of that station, I mean, this is just a wild guess, but I mean, you're looking at $45,000, $50,000. So this is less than half that. So I would recommend that we roll this way. And if I procure that through when we build the station, if we let the contractor procure those, he's going to mark up the cost because then he becomes responsible for
Right,
them.
I just asked for life expectancy, best guess.
Stainless steel, I mean, I guess indefinitely, you know, a long time. That's what I would say.
All right, Ms. Lucy. Wait, are you taking questions yet? Are you done with your presentation?
Oh, I'll take them now. That's fine. We do it as we go.
Yeah, we'll wait till you're done.
Okay. Next project I have is Waverly Road. You know, the survey effort on that is complete. We are working on the hydraulic analysis right now. We do have to get Terracon out there to take a saw boring so that we can do some calculations on the slopes of that ditch, especially around that bridge. Unfortunately, the weather has really, the past month, just hasn't cooperated with them. So I do anticipate that they'll be out there prior to the next time I would report. Once we get all that and we can calculate what kind of flows we should expect at that bridge, then we can start to give y'all some options and say, okay, well, look, if you want to go box culverts, this is what you need. This is how much the cost is. You know, you want to go culverts. You know, if you could push this under the bridge and eventually take that bridge out and just make it a road, I think that would be a much better product. If we could also do that, certainly would save us a lot of money in the long run. But nevertheless, the main item here is we've got to complete that hydraulic analysis. Once we do, we're going to go ahead and deliver a little design memo, a little technical memo of our findings to the administration, and we'll just take it from there. Next project, West Side Drainage Improvements. Had a real brief pre-construction meeting this morning. This is another one where the weather really hasn't been cooperating. We had one or two little issues that we had to work out with the contractor that also delayed things. However, he's going to get we had the meeting, we agreed on how to solve some of the issues we were facing. It's really just logistical stuff. We're going to go ahead, cut his NTP for August 7th. In the meantime, I've been coordinating with the church and the school so that won't be much of an inconvenience because, I mean, that's still going to all have to function while this project is going on. Finally, the Barataria Marsh Creation and Ridge Restoration Project. Signed contracts have been received, and I actually received my notice to proceed from the parish to date. We were already in the process of setting up some sub-consultant agreements. As you know, John Plaisance and CB and I are also on the team and will be working with us. We were already starting to get the wheels turning on that. So we got the green light, so we'll get cracking on that. Having said that, questions?
Ms. Lucy.
I'm not sure if my question is to you or Mr. Jimmy, or is that project going to proceed as he plans? The Waverly Road project.
If we have the money, you know, I don't know if we have all the money. We're trying to see if we have it all put in place.
Well, we have enough for the design. Is
Yes,
the
but-
design going to continue?
Well, we have to have it designed, but having the money to do it is a different
Oh, I
thing.
know, but
Right.
they're not going to have any problems with completing the design work on it,
I don't
as
know.
far as you know.
I mean, I think Leaf's been working on that too. Leaf,
Yeah, We sent it for DA opinion. Tentatively, I believe you were copied in the email, Ms. Posito, from Ms. Lisa, saying she does not think that this falls in line with the 12-027 DA's opinion from a previous project from the prior administration. What we want to do is try to find some info on that particular 2012 project to see where we differentiate, and if so, we're going to kind of, like I said in the email, possibly use that as a framework for other projects as well, following that resolution framework. So as of right now, I got to meet, we're waiting for Ms. Lisa to get back and meet with Cam for official correspondence, her initial assessment of the situation. She doesn't foresee a problem.
So at this point, there's no efforts to stop the design of this project?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Mr. Grove.
In regards to the west side drainage, so it's going to start August 7th, and that, I received word that it's like a 100-day project. Y'all be able to do that? No. I mean, that's a huge project. 100 days seems fast.
They claim they can do it. Hey, they
All right,
put
yeah.
a bid. I'm not asking them to do anything they said they
All
could
right.
do.
Okay.
Certainly, look, and we're going to work with, here's the deal. We can't go excavate or cut out the roadway and what have you and get 3-inch rains, and that's what we've been working on.
Right.
We're just going to do it in pieces, okay? And understanding that if they get a 2 or 3-inch rain, depending on where they are in that project, that might shut them down for 2 to 3 days. So if they had an actual real 100 working days, it's not a problem. But what I'm telling you is,
Not
it
now.
will take more than 100 days to do this. Just simply because of the weather will delay them more than.
Do you know, I mean, it's just my own knowledge, do they start in the back by the shooting range, or they start in the front by St. Mary?
Well, actually, the plan, they're probably going to put 2 crews starting simultaneously.
And they just roll it all at one time?
They all roll
Okay.
as quick as they can. I mean, for them, time is money. There's no incentive to drag it out.
Mr. Bourgeois.
Real quick, I'm talking about the little structures, and I'm going to include Mr. Barnes here that he gave. Which one would be easier in maintenance, the traditional? This is actually something radically new to do, these individual stainless enclosures. And am I correct in saying, Mr. Barnes and Mr. Rabelais, that it would actually probably be easier to maintain using these new type of structures?
Yes.
And, I mean, isn't there like a better reduction in exposure to the elements overall than a big shed individual enclosures?
Correct.
I mean, and it's half the cost. Is there any downside? And I'm just saying this on future pump stations and all of this, because this, I don't know how many of you have gone out to pump stations. I know Nooney has and all of that. It's kind of a big change, but does it appear to be a huge cost savings type of change?
This is probably going to cost you less than half if I was to put a roof on there or some type of enclosure.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. LaFont.
I just wanted to touch base on this also, and I don't think it's a new concept, because I haven't been offshore since 1993, and I've seen these offshore in those days, but they work better. I'm with you. They work better than a building, because a building only covers something dropping straight down. When you got wind, it blows it on. So I think they work great. I've seen them offshore. They lasted longer than some people live. I think it's a good idea.
All right, that's it.
Good deal. Thank you.
Thank you. Name and address for the record, please, sir.
Good evening. Trey Chauvin with Leonard Chauvin, Civil Engineer and Land Surveying, 421 St. George Road, Schriever, Louisiana. I'm here to report on the Recreation District 11 Splash Park. Notice to proceed was given to the contractor on June the 8th. Since that time, they've gone in, degrassed, hauled in fill material, which is going below the actual splash pad. Materials have been ordered since then. Everything's expected to be delivered by the first week of August. So contractors expected to get started. They're looking at about 2 weeks to install the splash park itself. Once that's done, then we can start on the outside paving, fencing, grading. That's going to take place. So looking at, hopefully the splash park will be somewhat getting close to completion by the end of August, beginning of September. So contract expires on, on October the 8th. Any questions?
Mr. Melvin?
Mr. Chauvin, I'm just curious. I know there's, different ways to engineer things. I was just concerned that they don't have a recirculation. It's my understanding that most splash parks have a water recirculation. Granted, it involves a little chlorine because, things happen in splash parks and pools, but, germs, amoebas, or whatever you want to call them. But this one does not have a recirculation.
Right, and most of them in this area and going out towards New Roads and Donaldsonville do have a recirculation system. Meeting with the recreation board and everything, I'm guessing they figured in their hours of operation, it would be cheaper for them to just go ahead and dispose of the water, drain on site instead of doing recirculation. This is something at their request. So I'm guessing they figured this into their hours of operation.
How many, do you know, and this is my last question, how many do you know that don't have recirculation? Do you aware of any?
I'm not aware of any.
Okay, I'm just curious. Thank you.
So the Recreation Board in Bayou Blue asked that there not be a recirculation?
Right. We've been working on this project for quite some time.
Do they have engineers in that group or anything that?
We did the engineering, but this is actually furnished from Vortex Aquatics. So we've been working with the manufacturer on this product. They have two options. One, which you can do a recirculation system, which involves chlorine and testing, or you can go ahead and do just straight water supply and run it off into the drainage system. This is the option that they selected, so this is what we move forward with.
Okay, but is it like out of the ordinary to do something like this?
I don't believe, no.
Okay, all right. Because, yeah, that question kind of puzzled
I guess
me.
you it's one of those things, if you want to maintain chemicals and add chlorine and whatever other testing that occurs with the splash part.
Or if you want to just saturate the area around
you
it,
want to
even more. Mr. Bourgeois?
Yeah, I was going to say the cost of the water was cheaper than the equipment and different things. I mean, they, not Bayou Blue, but actually consulting with the manufacturer, they did an analysis, and it was actually cheaper to buy the water than to maintain, because you have to maintain the water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You got to maintain the chemicals and the testing, and you have the health issues and all of that. When you just look at the dollars it would cost, it was actually just easier to let the water drain out than it was to try to keep the water and do that.
Right, it's not a park that's going to be continuously spraying. It's motion activated, so you're looking at small, I guess, burst of water, not a straight water stream coming.
Gotcha. Mr. LaFont?
Yeah, when was the decision made on that?
June the 8th, we gave them notice to proceed.
No, when was the decision made to change, to go from the filtered one or?
Oh, this is since I've been involved with this project, which
beginning?
is 2 years ago.
Okay.
We started
All right.
doing this.
Yeah, water's so cheap, it's expensive for chemicals. Most of the pools in the area, that's their biggest cost is chemicals.
Okay, I think that's all the questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Any other engineers, architects? Section D, Parish President, Department Heads, Directors, or Managers Report, Presentations and Updates. Any department head reports? All right, Mr. James Barnes.
Good evening. This here is a repair on the Layton pump station. A repair on the Layton pump station levee. When we had that tremendous rain, it kind of sprung a leak. This is Parish line ditch, sweeping the ditch completely. Choctaw Road, replacing a rotten culvert. Bayou Buff drainage blew out the culverts. If you kind of look down the center of the picture, you can see a place that was holding a lot of water, and the culverts was stopped up. So our new culvert cleaners help solve this. Jack Bay North Levee recap and repair levee. Jack Bay North Levee hauled the dirt to raise and reconstruct the end of the levee. The Levee Canal pulled debris that was blocking the floodgates. Little Owl Pump Station, we had to change out that 18-inch pump right there, and we rebuilt it in-house and putting it back together. Little Owl Pump Station, sweeping the ditch going to the pump station. Miller Road, sweeping the ditch, you see the before and the after. Brooklyn Lane, right away cleaning the ditch. Another catch basin with cement in it. David Drive sweeping the ditches. Ray Foss right away cleaning the right of way back for Wilson Street. Rudy Cypress covered and catch basin installation. X Bypass Road, completing digging the, that's the outfall canal. Butch Hill Pump Station removing the pump, but as of today, the pump has already been rebuilt and put back in operation. Cypress Street damaged culvert, we just kind of cleaned out around it and cut it off to have a better flow. District 3 of 12, we had to remove an engine. Engine went down. We had one in storage facility. In 2 days, the people from the racing barn pulled the engine, put the other one in, installed the other engine, and had the pump station back up and running. Ida Street cleaning the grass and the ditches. Kramer right away cleaning the drainage ditch. Over Oakview Drive, replacing a damaged undersized culvert. Willow Street, that's Oakview Drive, removing 6-inch culvert and replacing it with a 15. Silver Street, replaced damaged culvert. St. Louis Street, cleaning the ditches and the culverts. Fantastic outfall canal, sweeping the canal. St. Anthony Street, installing the culvert at the end. Charlie Wallace subdivision, we had just got the machine unloaded. If you see the right of way there on your right, that's a major outfall. We're going to be clearing that and then digging that outfall. Hamilton Street, replacing the rotten culvert. Industrial Park Boulevard, sweeping the ditches. LeBlanc Drive, sweeping outfall canal. La Coca outfall canal, sweeping it out. That's going to the pump station, Al Robichaud pump station. T-Boy pump station, cleaning the rakes. I know it's kind of hard to see, but on your far right, actually that excavator is holding up a part of a tree that someone had cut close to the bank and it fell into the canal. Could have got into the pump. East 37th Place, changing some bad culverts. West 33rd Street, cleaning some culverts. East 110th, removing fallen tree from the road. East 114th Street, digging the ditches, just getting started digging the ditches on that. Golden Meadow Boat Launch, repairing the deck and the walkway. If you notice, right where the truck door is open right there, we put a layer of asphalt to where you kind of stay up out of the water, and we changed out some boards. West 97th Street, cleaning the culverts. West 213th Street, digging the ditches. And that's it. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Barnes. All right, any other reports from administration?
I got a question.
One second, Mr. Jones. That's the next section. Questions for the administration. All right, Section E, questions for the administration, Session 1. Mr. Jones.
Mr. Bourne, on Diplomat Way, I got a couple calls that the trees are taking over. Is there any chance we can get that giraffe machine over at Diplomat Way and clean that ditch?
Yes, I'm in the process of getting some quotes on some rental equipment to see what it's gonna cost us to do that.
Mr. Melvin.
Mr. James, just wanted to thank you, you and your staff. In a word, at the speed of you answering emails, getting to people to a situation, moving a portable pump, in a word, remarkable. Thank you very much.
Mr. Otan.
All right, I got a couple of things. First, I just question on the coastal pump station. It's on target. We're still on target. Everything's rolling good.
Still on target.
All right. Second thing is the La Rose flow. Well, you know, I'm going to ask actually every meeting for over a year now. I know there was some more exchange of emails. Do you know if they have agreed or have they responded that they have agreed to combine Phase 2 and Phase 3?
I had no reply since the last email.
Okay. Do you know if they've moved forward on Phase 2? I think y'all were reviewing their plan proposal. Where do we stand with that, just for the constituents to know?
Done reviewed the plans and give them to go ahead.
Okay,
to get
so
to get to the next phase.
Okay, so hopefully they'll be breaking ground. The next thing is, on the way here, I got a phone call, and I'm sure you may have, and perhaps Nick has, but someone's been tampering and opening the floodgates. So I don't know if you're aware of that. That happened today. I'm sure, I know, I was told Nick was aware of it. Anyway, my question is twofold. Number one is, should we consider, or is it possible to lock those valves so that residents can't go tamper with them? That's item number one. Item number two is, should we draft an ordinance and put signs up just stating, you know, that it's unlawful to tamper with those valves?
We should do both. The ordinance and put a chain and a lock on them.
Okay. So I'll work with the administration if we can draft an ordinance, get a proposed ordinance going with that. That's great. I appreciate that.
Okay. Also, Armand, to get you up to speed, I've had some conversation with Dwayne from the North Lafourche Levee District. They're looking into cleaning the canal, the pump canal, and we got two major outfall canals that we're gonna do. But Dwayne has been looking into that to help get water to the pump station.
Great, great. As I continue to state, that's my most, I have a lot of troubled areas. That's certainly one of the hard ones, as I'm sure y'all are aware.
Yes.
Next thing I just want to comment on is that, well, actually I do have another one. You mentioned the Lacoca outfall, sweeping that outfall. One of the residents mentioned to me that there's a restricted culvert. There's a small culvert in that outfall. Is that true or false?
Can't answer that right off the bat, but I'll let you know.
Can you, I'll just ask that y'all look into it. If y'all can, because once again, it's a resident. I think he's actually a previous employee of the parish from years ago, and he said that there's a restriction on that outfall, and according to him, it's a small culvert.
Nicholas Guidry, Highway 308, Lockport. It's a 36-inch culvert that he has crossing in the back,
So that's,
and it's sufficient.
36 inch. So I wish I'd asked you previously, because he was telling me it was 18, so
No.
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Nick.
Thanks.
And I'm assuming there has been no update on the right-of-ways to do more work on the backside of Moore Drive on the Lacoca property. That was started a year ago.
Right. We're still in contact with their attorney.
Last thing, I'll just make a comment. Last night at the Lafourche Parish Game and Fish Commission, they mentioned that the Butch Hill boat launch has got some boards that are sticking up. It's a hazard, so he just asked if someone could maybe look into it.
We can do that.
Thanks.
Mrs. Esposito.
I guess this is for Paul. Any word on the Terrio boat launch? And since IAD left that firm, they've never, to my knowledge, they haven't been to the council meeting. So any update on what's happening with the boat launch?
Yeah, we've had quite a few email exchanges. Quite a few email exchanges. The most recent one was just before I walked into the meeting, and they are coming here on Thursday with drawings ready to go out for bid, a bid package ready to go out for bid. They've also been in touch with our purchasing department on how to get it, properly formatted into their bid system. So, but we're that close.
Okay, they don't know how to get it properly formatted? Is this their first rodeo?
Well, this is not their first rodeo, but this is the first time they use the bidding system that we're using.
Okay.
So they wanted to differentiate between us and other parishes.
Okay. The only other question I have is maybe to the administration as well as other council members. Traffic calming devices rears its ugly head for me again. The owners of Zam Swamp Tours met with me and as well as Mr. Jimmy about needing traffic calming devices. And Mr. Jimmy, told them that they have to go through the process with the sheriff's office. But it's a dead-end road, so I don't even know that they'll qualify for speed traffic calming devices. And this is a business with a lot of children, a lot of foot traffic, a lot of visitors. And so this is similar to the boat launch, the lane with the boat launch. I don't know if we need to have something to where you have extenuating circumstances where we could get some relief for these people that won't fit the criteria of the police department. But, I mean, common sense should prevail at some point. So I don't know if anyone else is having a problem with needing traffic calming devices in areas or not, but I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Jimmy?
Well, I explained to him, I met with him, and he understood. The thing to do for temporary, I said, I wanted to call you and tell you this over here. So go ahead and get some signs put up, and he said he had a walkway. He said some things we can do for him, and he understood. But the liability of the things the way I put in is the sheriff takes that liability. So we don't want the liability, and we don't want to put in something that would not work and somebody's car would be busted or something. So he understood, and I think he's good with it. We put speed limit signs and temporary, we're going to see what the sheriff's going to do. Now, if that doesn't work, maybe we can talk to the sheriff, that's your department, see that we can get some speed bumps put in. As far as the blacktop ones, that those are very, very big liabilities for the parish. So,
oh, they are?
Yes. I mean, the blacktop breaks off and somebody busts a car, we're responsible. So the professional ones are the ones that we need to go with, and the liability is much limited to it. So anyway, I did meet with him, a nice young man, and he understood. And I think we'll start off with some signs and do what we have to do to help him out.
Yeah, he did say that you said to, you'll get with me on, changing the speed limit. He's not really sure what the speed limit is out there. And he is still meeting with the sheriff, and I'm going to meet with the sheriff to see about these extenuating circumstances, if something can be done or approved by the sheriff's office, if that's the case.
Yeah. I think you can put in a resolution for, to put in speed limits 15 miles an hour, so that would help out a lot. And he said that he don't think the people would go for it because I think 50% of the people have to sign, and he said he don't think they'll sign. So we can see what we can help him out with. We want to help him out and try to eliminate anybody from getting hurt. But we still have to go through the sheriff's office to try to.
Now, you mentioned to him that you could draw a crosswalk, the white lines across.
I said we have to check with the sheriff's office if we could put a crosswalk in and put stop signs so that a pedestrian crosswalk.
Because I know most Louisiana people don't understand that they're supposed to stop at crosswalks.
Well, if you put stop signs on each side, I think, it'll be marking it off. And then you can also have the sheriff's department with the radar gun go out there and make sure people stop.
But that would be something we'd have to check with the sheriff's office on.
Right, definitely.
Okay.
Mr. Grove.
Okay, a couple things. Leif, I want to thank you for answering my questions to the best of your abilities. I know we're waiting on some answers from Lisa and Cam in regards to Abbey Road and someone to report back about road sales tax A with the figures in there. So I appreciate you doing that. I would just ask that when you do talk to Lisa and Cam, to not rope it in with Waverly. I think we need to ask their opinions on separate, each each instance as its own individual thing. I don't think we should generalize any DA opinions. We want to be very clear and precise and ask for a specific project. Ask about Waverly for one and ask about Abbey for the other one. That was just something I wanted to mention. I do have a question too in regards to the traffic calming. Our guy would, from the Sheriff's Department, Roy Groh and Doug Foreman, and did a traffic study on Abbey Road. I did everything but the signature part, they were very fast to act on that. I'm going through, even though we don't have anything right now with the traffic calming devices, I'm going to go through the process, at least have that paperwork. Hopefully when the road's overlaid, we can look at possibly having some possible calming devices there. In regards to Abbey Road, James, if you can put some extra speed limit signs, there's not enough on that road. If we can get that done, I don't think I need to bring it before council just to get a couple more signs out there. In regards to signs, and this may be a question for Ms. Pat, when we accept a neighborhood into our system, and a lot of these new neighborhoods are putting the decorative posts for the speed limit signs, and we put a three-way stop or add another sign in the neighborhood, we have to pay for the decorative sign versus putting just a little green post?
That's going to be a question for Ms. Pat.
Okay. I'll ask her. Does anybody know that?
Mr. Chairman, I don't think we should have, Mr. Chairman, Mayor?
Go.
I don't think we should have to, because we're not mandated. Once we take over the street, it's our street. We don't have to follow the neighborhood ordinance, I don't believe.
No, but what I'm saying is when we change, or like I'm asking, let's say Abbey Road had decorative posts and they don't, would we have to put a decorative post? And if we are supposed to, we need to start asking these neighborhoods to keep a slush fund or something, you know, the homeowners associations. That's just something, I'll get with Ms. Pat on to look into that.
Mike, we had that same issue come up, and I don't know exactly how it was handled. Maybe we could look back on street lightings, decorative street lightings. James, you might remember that a while back, a couple of years ago, about having to replace some decorative street lightings. But I'm sure it would fall in that same line.
Okay. And the only other thing, and I should have emailed earlier this week, but it's pretty much a yes or no question. Did we look into purchasing that parking lot across from the government complex in Thibodeau? We have an idea how much it costs or anything? Actually, I did ask it. I didn't get an answer on that one. Did anybody with the administration look into that?
We didn't look into it yet. We're going to get to it, though.
Mr. Bourgeois.
I'd like my comments actually from Ms. Lucian when she was talking about the speed limiting devices and what have you. I'd be happy to work with you to review them because we have the problem in Bayou Blue of a lot of speeders, and most of the streets don't qualify for the traffic speed control devices. So I'd be happy to work with you to review what we need to do to make exceptions on some of the streets that don't qualify.
Well, from what Mr. Jimmy just said, that would be the sheriff's call. So I don't, if it's a matter of liability, and Mr. Jimmy said it's a sheriff's call. So I'm meeting with the sheriff soon and to discuss it with him. If there's something we can do, I would do it, but we still have funding issues. But those two streets definitely won't meet the criteria because they're dead ends. So I know we're sunk on that, but
most of the streets in Bayou Blue are dead end, and that's kind of the issue we face. We have a lot of speeders, and that's why I'd like to be in on the discussion with that.
Mr. LaFont.
I had a street in my district that had calming devices before they overlaid it, just never put back, but it's a dead-end street, and it was approved by the sheriff's office.
it is the same situation with both of my streets. They had them before and they weren't put back. So
Now, this one was approved, too, by the sheriff's department.
All right. I have a question for the administration. Earlier, I was asked to sign, and I don't know who can answer this, if anyone. Earlier, I was asked to sign as a supervisor a form that the parish submits to all the employees requesting the employees divulge all of their medical history to the parish. That kind of set kind of funny with me because I think that's privileged private information. Does anyone know why this information has to be collected? I understand it's like a risk management type thing, but to me that flies in the face of every HIPAA law I've ever heard of.
I don't know either. I just finished mine. I had to get some information from the doctor, so.
Right, so that's what I don't understand. Why would an employer need personal
Well,
medical histories of their employees?
let me check into it and we'll find, I can leave. Write that down, check.
Yeah, it seems to me something like that could be used against someone in the wrong hands. Go ahead, sir.
As it was explained to me when I was filling out mine, you know, a couple weeks ago, was that it has something to do with the workman's comp insurance. Let me get with our risk management team and we'll investigate and we'll see get you a better answer.
Okay, I appreciate it because, I mean, if someone gets hurt at work, I mean, that's a separate issue to if they have a pre-existing condition, you know, so I don't understand the whole workman's comp angle.
It was a second
Grow.
injury. So basically, with workman's comp, that, from my understanding, there's something called second injury fund. So they want to know if, Bo, you may be able to answer, if you had a pre-existing condition, that they want to insure that just in case it would happen again. But it should be more direct coming into HR
So a
office.
pre-existing condition based on the original workman's comp claim or an overall picture of
They
your
just want to
health?
know if you have anything before that the workman's comp
Yeah, I
needs to
don't
know
agree with
about.
that at all.
But that's common practice, but I think it shouldn't be just mailed to you and say, it should be more come into the office directly to HR, in my opinion.
Because, I mean, a lot of people are very private and sensitive about their medical histories and their medications. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's something that I don't know that employers should have free reign over demanding that information. Right, but, okay. Any other questions? Being none, moving on to section F, council reports, presentations, updates, and our questions. Mr. Lorraine.
Yeah, I got a couple of things. First of all, since I'm more or less retired, I make a lot of meetings. I watch Terrebonne Parish Council, and they have an attorney at their meeting. I go to the meeting in the town of Golameta, they have an attorney. I've been to Lockport, they have an attorney. I go to the South Lafourche Levy District, they have attorneys. I go to the Greater Lafourche Port Commission, they have attorneys, committee meetings and main meetings. And I go to the hospital meetings, and they have attorneys. I think that years ago, we had some legal advice. I think we need to get legal advice. Somebody with the district attorney's office, since he's our representative, needs to come to these meetings and sit down, and there's some things maybe we can get some answers, and maybe some things we can't. But I think we need legal advice. And I think things would go a lot better. Everywhere as I go, there's an attorney. Why I come to a parish council meeting, sitting on the council for years, had it at one time, and in the last 10, 12 years, we don't have it anymore. And I think, no offense to anybody, but I think it's needed. I think we should have an attorney. There are things that come up that I don't expect him to give you an opinion that's complicated. But there are some things that he can give you some advice. You could do it or hold off or whatever. But I just feel we should have, and that's just a request that I'm making, that we should have an attorney. And my second request is since we have an internal auditor, I would like to get all the recreation districts that were in the parish, there's 8 of them, and then we have some areas that collect a tax that's still existing. There's 2 or 3 of them, I believe. But I'd like to audit the last 2 years on every recreation district. And you don't have to do it all at one time. Just do 1 or 2 at a time. After you get 3 or 4, give us a report. And that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you,
Otan.
All right, thank you. Just a couple of comments. First off, I want to recognize and thank Fire Chief Freddie Guidry, who was laid to rest last week, for nearly an entire lifelong of public service to the community of Lafourche Parish. First as a veteran, then on as the ambulance service district, and then ultimately as fire chief, where I came to know him. Great guy, great kids, and, you know, we're certainly going to miss him, and he was very well respected, so I just want to mention that. Second thing is I wanted to recognize is Chris Boudreau, Fire Chief of Chagbay, will be hosting the Louisiana State Firemen's Association Convention next week. Unfortunately, it'll be in Houma because we don't have enough hotels in Lafourche. However, there are going to be activities in Lafourche. His golf tournament, et cetera, will be in Lafourche. So I just want to recognize and congratulate Chris as he, you know, his year as president of the association for the state of Louisiana comes to a close. Last thing I have is I just want to report to the council that we did have a meeting last night, Lockport Boat Launch, which at the last meeting we discussed prior to the purchase of the LaRose, one that I asked that y'all would support, you know, doing some repairs there before we spend any other money on any more boat launch improvements, et cetera. And, you know, I did do a lot of studies, you know, in 2015, I think we spent $400,000 was allocated from Terrio to Kramer to Golden Meadow, and then last year, of course, a big project with Leeville, and Lockport just kind of kept getting pushed. So we did have a good meeting. I think Parish President, he was the only one from the administration showed up, but he was there last night, and it's very helpful and it was a packed house, as it usually is at the Lafourche Game and Fish Commission. So I just want you to know we're on our way. So thank you.
Mrs. Posito.
Mr. Daniel, you mentioned an attorney. Are you talking about for parliamentary procedure or for just random items that come up on the agenda? Because I don't know, it's been.
Just have an attorney here.
Yeah, because they usually research everything before we get an answer, so I'm not really sure.
It doesn't matter. You know, I just read you where I went.
Right.
And everywhere you go, there's an attorney.
And what are they doing?
You got the governing authority of the parish, and we have no attorney. You have an attorney, but you have no attorney here.
Are they answering questions on the spot?
The best one that I've ever seen when I was in office was Judge Bobera. He would answer quite a bit on the spot. If it was, like I said, if it was controversy, they would maybe just tell you, let's hold off, give me a chance to look at it. But there are a lot of times they can't answer on the spot. Something minor, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you have something else your light was on before that question?
Yeah, I just want to see that Mr. Orman, first of all, I know you've been in office a year and a half, and I'm a guy that always said that I would support any boat launch in the parish, wherever it's at, it doesn't matter, because boat launches bring people. I think you have to go back and look at some of the costs that were shared with some of the boat launches in my area. But I just want to ask you, since you've been in office, have you ever applied with the Waller-Bro Fund? Have you ever applied to get some funding with the Waller-Bro Fund?
Right, so apparently you talked to Bob Goose. Bob Goose told...
No.
He did call me today and told me that, you know, that y'all could help me. So Lockport Boat Launch in 2005, 2006 did get a Waller-Bro grant, and there was a tremendous amount of work that was done there from the Waller-Bro. So I am familiar with it, and I hear what you're saying about being in office for a year and a half. I've actually been 25 years a public servant, so it's a lot longer than that.
I understand.
So, but the problem is that the Lockport Boat Launch was brought up the last couple of years several times to get some improvements, and we just overlook. And all I'm asking now is that we put it at the top tier of getting some improvements for our community.
Yeah, I understand that part, but I didn't like the part where you said I'm not going to vote for anything until you fix mine. I don't think that's the right thing to do. Let's take the Leeville boat launch, $1.2 million. Parish put up $450,000, the port put up $250,000, and the Waller-Bro put up $500,000. The fishing pier and the pavilion, Parish put up $166 twice. The port put up $166, and the Tourist Commission on behalf of Jerry put up $42. I mean, we got some participation.
Understood. So the LaRose, the one we just purchased in LaRose for $310,000, how much of that came from out of the parish versus elsewhere? Just
probably all of it, I would think. All of it came from the parish.
Okay. So this came up when we were talking about buying the LaRose boat launch. We were spending $310,000 to purchase a new location when we have locations that are in dire need.
Right.
So that's where this comes from.
I agree that it's in dire need where you're at, but it's also in dire need there because it's a lot of people don't want to go pay $400 a year. We want to get something publicly. And at that time, when that boat launch was bought, we bought some property in Mr. Jones's area, couple of big pieces of property scattered throughout the whole parish. And then get with your senator and your representative, they might be able to slide you a few dollars.
And just out of curiosity, so explain to me on the Terrio boat launch, the $150,000 allocated in 2015 by the parish government. In February of 2015, there was 150,000 there, 100,000 Kramer. How much of those had matching funds?
I don't know all of them in particular.
Okay.
Some they have, and some they have. I don't know. But Wallop Bro Fund is a good.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a good one to go.
And just for reference, because the phone call I got today about, hey, did you look into Wallop Bro? You know, I think the state, so that's actually the federal government collects as a tax, is what Wallop Bro comes from, and it gets allocated to the states, and then the states can, but yeah, it does exist, and it is a possible avenue to getting some money, absolutely.
And then the Golden Meadow launch, that's about a park. I had got some funding, Wallop Bro again, with Senator Bennett Johnson. And then you had the Port Commission, you had the Levee District, you had the Town. They had quite a few people that participated in there. We used to get a lot of participants, and not everybody in the parish, every area has that.
Yeah, understood. And look, I'm going to push for that. Like I said at the last meeting, I'm going to push that Lockport boat launch gets put at the top of the list. Since Lafourche closed those gates and elevated the bayou a foot, half of that boat launch has been underwater since January, since Lafourche closed those gates. Half of that launch stays underwater. So we're being affected by outside, influences as well.
Yeah, but that water's coming in from Terrebonne. That ain't coming in from Lafourche, man.
My residents along the road say it's 1 foot, and when I asked Window here, he admitted that it did come up on the backside of the gate, which is...
No, but I'll tell you what I know about that. The gates used to stay open a lot. Today it's different.
Stays shut.
Most of the time they shut down, even on the south side.
Oh, my residents in La Rose let me know. I know.
Yeah. And the tidal flow is probably a foot above regular throughout the whole area.
Well, once again, I just would hope that, the council would support me in getting that Lockport boat launch put at the top.
I'm willing to help you. I was just asking you if you applied. You can reapply for that.
Mr. Bourgeois.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to express my support of Mr. Lorraine in asking for a legal advisor to be here. I've read several of the opinions that we've asked for in different things. And, one of them starts out, I believe there's a misunderstanding, different things like this. And I'd like to ask the district attorney's office to send a representative, because I think a lot of the things that we're seeking legal advice on are missed in email, and they're not missing the discussion of this council, the administration, and different things. And I think if a representative were here, they would understand the context. And when you reduce things down to an email or a couple word things, you're losing the true context of what we're trying to obtain information on. And I'd like to agree with him and, say that we should have a legal representative here so that when we do ask for an opinion, they have a full gist of what we're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, the DA's office, he's elected just like we are. I mean, all we have to do is ask him. Just ask him. Anyone else? Being none, we're moving right along at a snail's pace tonight. Section G, legal advisor report. None. Section H, public wishing to address the council. Mrs. Carleen Babin.
Mr. Andrew Martin, if you'd approach the podium, Mr. Martin, state your name and address for the record, and please remember you have 3 minutes, sir. That's my only one.
Andrew Martin, 18276 West Main, Galliano, Louisiana. I'm here today to represent Coach O'Day, which is a corporation, which is a 501c3. We have a board of directors of 10 people that runs the corporation. We had a function last year, February 2017, that we're anticipating it between 300 and 400 people. Come to find out we had between 1,600 and 1,700 people. So today, we got the okay from Coach O that he's willing to do an annual event every year to do the Coach O Day. And the reason for that is that we did very well, not only the function that we did in South Lafourche, but we're trying to do it throughout the parish, for the parish as a whole. We did so well that we had enough money to get a committee together to get money to nonprofit organization, drug organization, alcoholic, missionaries, and we distributed to 15 different organizations. So Coach O is very proud of what we had done last year and wish to continue to do this function on an annual basis. Now, the last time was strictly or mostly for South Lafourche, but we want to make it for a parish, a whole parish. By what I mean is that most of the stuff was from Lafourche Parish that we recognized. This time what we want to do is recognize maybe 2 athletes of any sports to honor them and get a bronze statue, either a statue or a plaque to present to the school and honor them at the same time, and present to the school whoever they graduate from. For example, if Mike Robichaud, which is Dr. Robichaud, played at LSU, and it could have been any other people that would play anywhere else, Southeastern or Nichols, but we would honor him with a plaque and also try to get him noticed to the community, with the community at the school, so that you could show the younger people when they go out, play football in the field, or get to know different people, how they got to where they got located. The thing is that if you ever been to LSU Stadium, and as the football players go out to the field and gets under the goal port, they got New York Giants, they got the New York Jets, they got the New Orleans Saints. Each college has a name where they played at different professional team. This would help them, the younger people, to realize by going on that field and seeing that plaque when they would get where they started from, that they have capability of going higher up than what they have. Now, we felt that that we did so well, so we decided to kick off, because if it's an SEC football week and everybody's listening about the football, getting ready for football, we thought we would kick off the 2018 Coach O week. And I thank you very much for the past, for the help that you had given us through Mr. Lafourche and almost Mr. President Cantrell, and to hope that next function we'll probably have over 2,000 people if we can get a head start. Last time we only have a month and a half to plan a program that we should take a whole year. So we feel that between the recruiting and spring practice, we probably would have that function sometimes the latter part of February, after Mardi Gras. And we will have Coach O and some of his players to come in and be part of the program. We had an excellent program on that, and I don't know if any of y'all was there at that function, but we had an excellent program. We felt that everything went excellent. The food was fantastic. We served 1,600 people in 43 minutes. We've got it organized. We feel that this coming year and years to come, that the 10 people that we have on the boards, 5 of them is going to retire. And some of the people we got on the board is, I'm president, Mike Hillman is vice president, Brent Dewey is secretary, Kevin Gross treasury, Ronnie Crockett Este, Thomas Gisclair, Josh Jambon, Curtis Chick Martin, and Larry Waddell, which is our media guy. We feel that next year, 5 of us is going to be stepping down and somebody's gonna be appointing 5 more people. So not only that this thing is we're gonna be honoring some of the athletes from the past, but I think we can help out local people in the missionary part, to elderly people and to people of needs. And Coach O would like to do that and try to raise as much money as I can to give out to the parish. He wants to make this for the whole parish, from Thibodeau all the way down to actually Grand Island. He would say Grand Island, so Grand Island is in Jefferson Parish. Should be in Lafourche though.
Agreed.
So, gentlemen, I feel that it stirred a moment that I popped up because I had a tooth pulled out. Excuse my speech, but speaking. But we feel that the Coach O would be an event that'd be an annual basis that could help the whole parish, and it would be an event that I think we'd be very proud of. I have given y'all each a poster. Every year we're going to have a separate poster. There's going to be 2018 next year. It's going to be a different type of poster with Coach O's signature. And if anybody's got any questions, I'd be too glad to answer.
And we appreciate you coming, promote the event. It was a great event this past year. Could have done without all that rain, but it was nice, regardless, under the big tent. Mr. Lorraine.
Yeah, Mr. Martin, wasn't it you and Mr. Mike Hillman that spearheaded that?
Well, we started.
Actually got it started?
We started at Mr. Jimmy Martin's office having coffee one morning. And of course, Mike Hillman says, well, we're going to honor Coach O in Baton Rouge. And of course, I've been knowing Mike all my life. And I said, Mike, I said, no, you're not. And he says, what do you mean? We're not. Yes, you are. I said, no, we're going to honor him over here in Lafourche Parish. And this was like, I think Coach was hired on November the 26th, and that date there was November the 28th. And we didn't get a confirmation on what date we could get from Coach O, not till January the 3rd. So it took us a month and a half to organize what we did. And of course, this year, I think we're going to have a better event. We have more time to organize things. We did things on a fly most of the time. And I had a lot of help from these guys that I just mentioned before. And the other thing I want to mention to y'all, in our giving out our donations, we hired a committee, got a committee that understood the nonprofit organization. A guy like Mike, like Pat Pete, like Bonnie Brady, like Henry Lafourche, at Willis Tubes. We've had people that will take application, go through them, and make sure it's done at the right, it's given to the right person, not to just give it to anyone. We felt that these people, and it wouldn't put the board of directors in a situation that we would be responsible for anything that would happen in the future. But Coach O really wants to give out to the needed people and to help the Lafourche Parish as much as he can. I guess this is going to be my last rodeo because I think this year is going to be my last. I'm not as young as I used to be, except he's older than me. He's got more hair, more white hair than me. But if I could be any other assistant for any other question that y'all may have on the event, don't hesitate in calling. If I have any other question?
No, I guess you're going to be one of the 5 stepping down according to what you said.
Yeah.
And I always told you always had that black hair. I said, when it's going to start white, look out, Panda. And it started.
Well,
and thank you very much.
The reason I'm going to be stepping down, probably I'm going to be running for Port Commission.
There you go. All right. Thank you, Mr. Martin.
That's it, Mr. Chairman.
All right. All right. Section I, ordinances for discussion and ratification. Number 5, ordinance providing for a 2017 supplemental appropriation 17-018 within the 2017 operation and maintenance budget to increase the coastal zone management 181 budget to cover a project to develop and install an oyster bed surge protection system to protect ancient burial mounds sacred to the Pointe-au-Chien Native American tribe, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions, and as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Moved by Mr. Bourgeois. Second by Mr. Lorraine. This was already done for public hearing, so we're going to move to a vote if there's no further discussion.
I got something.
Go ahead.
I sent some emails on the questioning this, and they sent me a map of the sites, and they sent me 2 pictures. And when you look at a map, or general map, or Google Earth, those 2 sites don't match up. So I'd like to, if somebody here that has any information on that.
Go ahead, Mr. Administrator.
Yes, from my understanding, speaking with our grant writer, Mr. Lafourche, I believe one map that you have is actually for the site that's in the grant. The other was just for a possible location, if they could expand the grant. Turns out, after further research, they weren't going to be able to expand it to cover any other locations. I can get with Mr. Lafourche and make sure you get the appropriate map for the locations that's going to be covered.
Yeah, but I'd like to see all the maps and all. I could forward y'all what they sent me, but I'd like to get all the information before I vote on it.
Mr. Bourgeois.
Really? $25,000. We spend more money than that on the dumbest stuff. And for $25,000, we're going to do this. We're just matching a grant with Terrebonne Parish. You know, I've seen less discussion on bigger items.
Well, you know, I'm going to question it all because we voted, we had it before you on the council to protect some grave sites in Leeville, and it didn't happen. So when you're talking to residents that are possibly $25,000 could stop their house from flooding, you know, I get those calls too. So I just would like to get the full information. I asked, I didn't get the full information. I'm just asking. Y'all could vote on it. I'll just abstain.
Mr. Hotan.
One of the questions I have is where they're going to build this surge protection at. Is that going to be on public land or is that on private land? I only ask that because I keep seeing all the fighting with the fishermen where things are getting roped off and they're not having access. And so I'm just wondering if we're going to be putting public funds on private property, or is this going to be public land?
It's
Anybody,
private.
Anybody knows that?
It's private because in the email it says on the land, the landowner said something.
Any other questions or comments on this? Go ahead, Mr.
Is
Melvin.
oyster bed surge protection, is this going to be a living bed? Or are these oysters going to just be able to sit there? We're talking about oyster shells or like live oysters and they're not going to be harvested? Is somebody personally profiting? I'm just asking, I don't know.
Okay, so we'll move it to a vote if you so desire, Mr. Bourgeois. All right. So it's been moved and seconded already. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Nays, raise up your hand, please.
I'm abstaining.
So we got 3-1. You got all the nays?
Yes, sir. 5. 5 yeas, 3 nays, and 1 abstention.
Okay, passes 5-3-1. All right, section J, can we get a motion to open public hearing for ordinances and ratification? Mr. Grow moves and Mr. Lafont seconds. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We are open. Number 6, ordinance to install 2 deaf person in area signs on West 137th Street, with 1 sign to be placed east of house number 128 and 1 sign to be placed west of house number 128, Galliano, Louisiana, Ward 10, District 9, Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, and authorizing the installation of 2 deaf person in area signs as indicated above. Moved by Mr. Lorraine. Second by Mr. Bourgeois. Any discussion from the public? One time, two times, three times. Being none. Discussion? Being none. Move it to a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 7, ordinance approving an act of donation between Lafourche Parish Government and St. Mary Community Action Agency for the donation of one Ford E350 van with the VIN number 1 Foxtrot Tango Sierra Sierra 34 Sierra 38 Delta Bravo 32416 and one international cargo trailer with VIN number 1 Uniform Kilo 500 Hotel 269-106-7927, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. Esposito. Any discussion, any comment from the public? One time, two times, three times. Being none, discussion from the council. Being none, moving to a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 8, ordinance amending ordinance number 5877, that amended ordinance number 5833, which adopted the 2017 operations and capital budget for the Lafourche Parish Council, as well as setting the salaries of unclassified employees as provided by Article 5 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Jones, second by Mrs. Esposito. Any comment or questions from the public? One time, two times, three times. Being none, Mr. Lafont.
Yeah, Mr. Jones, can you explain where the funds and why we're giving a raise to one employee, please?
Mr. Lafont, that's the advisory board recommendation to bring the salaries equal to the 2 outreach workers. One was making about $1.20 more than the other when they're doing the same work. Recommendation from the advisory board. Also, the funds are coming out of CSBG.
All right, any other comments or questions? Being none, moving to a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Please be a little more vocal on your vote so we can take accurate account. Number 9, ordinance providing for a 2017 supplemental appropriation 17-020 within the 2017 operations and maintenance budget to amend the budget as per library board recommendation, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Moved by Mr. Lorraine, second by Mr. Otam. Any comment from the public? One time, two times, three times. Being none from the council. Being none, moving to a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask a question, but Daniel had answered it before. This is mandated by the federal government, you said?
It's mandated by the state, and all we're doing was, their budget was cut last year, and we're just bringing it back to where it was at.
Okay, it passed already. Number 10, ordinance providing for a 2017 supplemental appropriation 17-021 within the 2017 operations and maintenance budget to deobligate the library HVAC project 14050 and the auto machinery project due to projects being completed, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Moved by Mr. Lorraine, second by Mr. Otam. Any comment from the public? One time, two times, three times. Being none from the council. Being none, moving to a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Item number 11, ordinance rescinding ordinance number 5916 that approved the lease agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and Upper 10 LLC to utilize property for recreational purposes, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said lease agreement and any and all relevant documents. Can someone move from me, please? Moved by Mr. Lafont, second by Mr. Lorraine. Any comment from the public? One time, two times, three times from the council. Being none, moving to a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Item number 12, ordinance approving a lease agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and Upper 10 LLC to utilize property for recreational purposes, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said lease agreement and any and all relevant documents. Can someone move? Moved by Mr. Otan, second by Mr. Lafont. Any comment from the public? One time, two times, three times. Being none from the council. Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Item number 13, ordinance requesting a no dumping of trash, $500 fine, and no trespassing, $100 fine, to be posted at 2058 St. Mary Street, Thibodaux, Louisiana, Parish of Lafourche, providing for the placement of no dumping trash, $500 fine, and no trespassing, $100 fine, signs, and providing for penalties for the violations thereof. Moved by Ms. Esposito, second by Mr. Jones. Any comment from the public? One time, two times, three times being none? Mr. Bourgeois.
I'm just curious, what's at this address that we are asking for a sign? It's a specific address.
The specific address is Parish property.
Okay.
It's an empty lot on St. Mary Highway.
Works for
And
me.
people
Thank
have been unloading furniture and everything, and
Thank you.
All right. Any more questions? Being none, we're going to move it to a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Can we get a motion to close? Mr. Lafont, second by Mr. Lorraine. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Moving on, Section K, Mrs. Esposito, please.
Number 15, proposed ordinance to rename the Matthews Government Complex the Lindell Toops Matthews Government Complex, proposed by Councilman Lorraine. Do we still have a quorum? If anyone else gets up, we'll have to stop. Number 15, proposed ordinance establishing a do not, oh, Mr. Jones?
Go back to explain what it is.
You want?
We defer that and go back when he returns to the meeting?
Somebody wants to move to deviate to the
I'll
next
move to
item.
deviate.
To item 16. Is that what you want to do, Mr. Jones?
Want to deviate and come back to it when Mr. Bourgeois
14
returns.
or 15?
Item 15.
Okay, so you want to deviate to 16?
Oh, okay, number 16.
Mr. Jones moved.
Jones moved, I second.
Who's second?
Crow. Okay, number 16, proposed ordinance accept the subdivision known as LPHA subdivision Phase 1 into the parish system, proposed by Councilman Bourgeois. 17, proposed ordinance rescinding ordinance number.
He's not here.
Oh.
Somebody else is going to have to move on.
Moved by Councilman Grow. 17, proposed ordinance rescinding ordinance number 5893 that levied and imposed taxes for 2017 on all the property subject to taxation in the parish of Lafourche Recreation District number 11, rolling forward, proposed by Councilman Lorraine. Number 18, proposed ordinance rescinding ordinance number 5894 that levied and imposed taxes for 2017 on all the property subject to taxation to the parish of Lafourche Special Service District number 1, rolling forward, proposed by Councilman Lorraine. Number 19, proposed ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2017 on all the property subject to taxation in the parish of Lafourche Recreation District number 11, proposed by Councilman Lorraine. Number 20, proposed ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2017 on all the property subject to taxation in the parish of Lafourche Special Service District number 1, proposed by Councilman Lorraine. Number 21, proposed ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2017 on all the property subject to taxation in the parish of Lafourche Recreation District number 11, rolling forward, proposed by Councilman Lorraine. Number 22, proposed ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2017 on all the property subject to taxation in the parish of Lafourche Special Service District number 1, rolling forward, proposed by Councilman Lorraine. Number 23, proposed ordinance providing for a 2017 supplemental appropriation 17-023 within the 2017 operation and maintenance budget to cover the expense of an engineer and a change order to the construction costs for the fishing pier in Leeville 16007, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transaction as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter, proposed by Councilman Lorraine. Number 24, proposed ordinance providing for a 2017 supplemental appropriation 17-027 within the 2017 operation and maintenance budget to cover the emergency removal of the Chevron Bridge with an estimated cost of $450,000, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transaction as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter, proposed by Councilman Lorraine. Number 25, proposed ordinance providing for a 2017 supplemental appropriation 17025 within the 27 operations and maintenance budget to carry forward the balanced budget for a cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and Louisiana Rehabilitation Services for summer youth, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transaction as provided for by Article 6 of Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter, proposed by Councilman Lorraine.
We need a motion to deviate back to 15.
Take the motion to go back to item 15.
Number 15, proposed ordinance.
Second by Mr. Grow. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So be it.
Number 15, proposed ordinance establishing a do not distribute in my yard sign and my yard list for the Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, and providing penalties for the violation thereof, proposed by Councilman Bourgeois.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
a question. I got some calls on this. What is this is pertaining to, do not disturb in my yard?
Mr. Bourgeois, you want to explain this one?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. In the Bayou Blue region, there's a significant number of people that work 7 and 7 or 14 and 7. While they're away from their home, they get unsolicited distributions in their yard from moving vehicles. People throwing out leaflets, advertisements of different things. This is trying to establish a parish-wide list of, hey, this address, don't throw things in my yard while I'm not home. I spoke to a person at the sheriff's office unofficially. They said that it identifies that someone's not home by doing that. Different associations, homeowner associations and different things have levied fines against homeowners for having debris in their yard that blows across the neighborhood. So let's take, for instance, you have a gentleman that works offshore. He's gone 14 days. He comes home. There's litter all over his yard. He's got a fine from his homeowners association. And what has he done other than exist and own property? All we're looking to do is to establish a list that's on the website that is notifying people, please don't distribute in my yard. There's a licensing process for distributors and what have you. Unlicensed people, it's pretty easy to cite them for littering, and licensed people, you know, we can take sanctions against them. It's a voluntary thing to where you can just put your address, doesn't say who lives there, doesn't say anything, but it's to give the public notice of people who don't want things thrown from a vehicle in their yard to identify they're either not home or for it to blow around the neighborhood.
All right, thank you. Can we get a motion to deviate back to? All right, moved by Mr. Jones, second by Mr. LaFont. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I just want to ask you something. Item 26 and 31, I met with the nuisance people this afternoon, and I'd like to defer those two until August the 8th. They're in the process of being sold, so I went meet with them, and we suggested that give them till August the 8th on both of them.
Okay, so number 26 and 27 is
31
being
and
deferred.
31.
Oh, 26 and 31.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right.
Did we get a motion to go back? Y'all started.
Yeah, we did get a motion to go back.
Did y'all vote? No, not that, not that.
Yeah, we're good on that. But we did do the motion to go back, yes. It was Mr. Jones, then Mr. LaFont, and 9-0. All right, so 26 is deferred. Item number 27, resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between Lafourche Parish Government, the Coalition to Restore Coastal Louisiana, CRCL, Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, Terrebonne Parish, and landowner or landowner representative for the purpose of protecting a shoreline for the Bayou Pointe-au-Chien grant application and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Bourgeois. Second by Mr. Grove. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 28, resolution appointing 2 members on the Drainage District Number 1 Board. Can someone move for me? So move, Mr. Otan. You want to go ahead and, you got the name, the list? Here you go.
So it was advertised for 2 applicants. There were 2 vacancies, and there were 2 responses, Mr. Andrew Griffin and Mr. Rain Porsche.
Can we get a second? Second by Mrs. Esposito. Any discussion? Being none, move it to a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, gentlemen. Welcome to the board. Number 29, resolution approving 1 member on the Coastal Zone Management Advisory Committee. Moved by Mr. Grove. Who you got, Mr. Grove?
Okay, we advertised and we had 1 applicant when Mr. Mathern passed away, and the person I'm appointing is Charles Cannon.
Can we get a second? Second by Mr. Jones. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, passes 9-0.
Can I make a
Go ahead,
statement on
sir.
that? So this is to replace Mr. Alan Mathern, who passed, as I understand it, passed away. And I just want to recognize him. He's a good guy because that's what led me to get out the shipyard and go to college. He
Oh,
worked for
great.
LSU, so it was awesome.
Great, great. That's a wonderful story there, man. Number 30, resolution appointing one member on the Fire Protection District, number 8-Alpha Board. Mr. Esposito.
Valerie Martinez Jr.
Can we get a second? Mr. Jones seconds. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Congratulations. 31 has been deferred to the next meeting, August 8th. Number 32, resolution accepting the low quote of M&L Engine LLC in the amount of $24,995 for the purchase of one 20-inch water complete pump package for the McLeod electric pump and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Otan, second by Mr. LaFont. Any discussion? Mr. Lorraine.
I just want to say, Armin, don't you, I'm not against putting the pump, but don't you work for them people where this is going? For the company where this, no. On your personal job, don't you work for the people that own all this, where this is being put? I would just, right. I would kind of watch how you vote. I'm just cautious. No, that's what I would do, just to be safe.
Withdraw your second? Withdraw your motion?
No.
Moved by Mr. Bourgeois.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lorraine. Any further discussion? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And one abstention, so, 8001 passes. Number 32, resolution amending resolution number 17-174 that approved the hiring of attorney Alex P. Prochaska and their law firm of Jones Walker LLP to perform any and all legal defense services for the Lafourche Parish government regarding the Choctaw levy and to provide compensation in accordance with the Louisiana Attorney General's fee schedule, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Esposito. Second by Mr. Jones. Any discussion?
One.
Go ahead, sir.
Why do we have to make that change, just that one little change? What was the reasoning behind it? Can anybody answer?
You mean a change in attorneys?
Is it a change in attorney? It says, it's not a change in attorney, it's just one little bitty change thing in there, 31.
I think, yeah, because of the fee schedule, right? Okay, the Attorney General's office required that sentence that was changed. That's what Mrs. Carlene is saying.
All right. Yeah, I've seen that part with it recommended by the Attorney General. I'm just trying to understand why. Is it because maybe Cam might be our legal advisor and then we had to name them for this? I don't know. Okay, all right.
It's just the way it's supposed to be written, that it wasn't written before.
Okay, it's fine.
Per administration. Thank you. All right, any further discussion on this? Being none, we're going to move it to a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 34, resolution approving amendment number 6 to the application for funding for the project entitled Thibodeau Government Complex Renovations and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all said amendment and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Bourgeois and Mr. Otan. Second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? Mr. LaFont?
No.
Mr. Grove?
Yes. Okay, I guess I should start by saying I was asked by administration to sponsor this in early June, and reached out to Mr. Otan because I wanted to make sure, you know, he knew that I was going to be moving some money from Thibodeau to Lockport. And I agreed to it until I read what was actually being done. And I've asked several questions over the last month, and it just doesn't make sense to me. This is money that came, you know, CBDG money. We awarded like around 140,000, and then parish kicked in 110, and this is like 7 years ago, 5 years ago. money was transferred around. There was money done with Twin Oaks drainage. Then it went back to Thibodeau government. Then it went all over the place. And we added a penny to it at one meeting. But I don't understand why we can't. This building had a blue tarp on it not long ago. I mean, I'm talking like a couple months ago. There's stuff leaking in there. I'm not trying to not bring money to Lockport if it's needed there, but there's stuff that can be done in the Thibodeau government complex. If you ever been in there, you know that there's stuff that can be done. I don't know why past administration didn't act on it. I know they used some of the money in other areas. It's down to $233,000, but stuff can be done, and it can be done in a time frame. I talk with people, and the word I got was administration from previous administration was about to do something, but they lost, and they had to pack up. We've had some time to do something, and it was never done. We still have time. I don't think we're gonna lose this money like it's being reported to me. I don't think we're really in jeopardy of losing this money. I understand that Skipper Holloway's group has done engineering for this. I think it needs to stay there. I really do, and you know, I would love to move it there, and I'm all about putting the money where it needs to go, but not if the building's like it is, you know. Or if they can be added, I think that should be requested. If we can add another group to it, you know, the assessor's office, clerk of court's office needs stuff. I mean, they got buckling floors and water's leaking in there. I just can't see moving this money. And I've spoken to a bunch of people about it, and that's where I'm at.
All right, any other comment? Mr. Melvin?
Yeah, Mr. Otan, I don't mind helping in any way to maybe look in the rec district of this money. I can't see moving money for property we don't own yet to go start another building when we have buildings that need maintenance, but I mean, I'm all for trying to find some money and get it for you. I'm just, maybe you can explain this a little better, because it seems like this is being pushed down the road and the building's getting rained in.
Mr. Otan?
Yeah, and I thank you for those comments, Bo. And I got the email that Adam sent, I'm sure like every other councilman, explaining the situation. So, and that's how I understood the situation. So I'm not sure exactly what's new, other than the engineer you just referenced. I guess you talked to that engineer, maybe y'all friends. I don't know. I never heard this. That's news to me that has been engineered. So I don't want to mention his name because I don't know, you know, that I should be doing that. But anyway, my understanding is this was money that was allocated based on the email that we all got. It was money that was allocated from the state. It has deadline dates from what it said in the email. And there were projects that were on that list. And one of those was the Lockport Community Center. That Lockport Community Center was, when this list was initially done, was not going to be a funded part of the project. But what happened is other projects, I remember that was one of the Zalmans, got picked up, other funding sources, et cetera. So the money kind of trickled down and eventually ended up at the community center. That's how it ended up there. This is money that hasn't been spent, and it's about to run out. It has a timeline on it, and this is, you have to have a project that's already in the pipeline, and my understanding is the community center is one that's right around the corner. So, you know, the moving of funds, you're right, I get a little confused with it too, which is why I argued why money was taken out of Lockport and moved to Thibodeau, which was done. So I respect you asking, because I asked that, although it was still moved. So, you know, I don't know if that administration or if someone else can offer any information. I'm going off of what the email says and my history over the last 6-7 years with the community center, and that's basically all I can go off of. I know the money's going to be well spent. Now, what needs to be done in the Thibodeau office, I have no idea. I don't know. I'm not over there. I don't work there. I can't tell you what that cost analysis is. I have no clue.
You know, I'm all about the Lockport Community Center, but it's kind of bothersome that we have funds that are dedicated to renovations and repairs to some existing buildings, and we want to move it to a building that we haven't even bought the land to build on yet. That's kind of a concern to me that, you know, is that the right move? Not sure. Mr. Jones.
Versus losing it, I would say yes.
According,
I really don't think we're going to lose the money. Is the government building, is it raining in that building?
In Thibodeau?
I'm asking the administration that.
Do we have rain leaks in the Thibodeau complex?
I don't know of any, but they may have. I'm sure, you know. But that money, what he's talking about, Armin, if that money's not used, it'll cost us more money to get that money, so we can do the projects left in-house. In other words, what the money could get out of the project, so we can get this money, we have to spend more money to get it. So if we move it to your area, it would be, we won't lose the money, but we will be able to do what's remaining in-house and come out better. And that's the way I understand it. I don't know if it's.
The design work was did. Skipper Holloway, architect, didn't he do the design work?
Well, most of the stuff he did, I believe, was done.
And we have to come up with another 85,000 according to the email today.
That's what I hear. I mean,
But I'd much rather come up with 85,000 than $1 million from a project that's ready to go. We need our buildings repaired, and we can do a lot of work with $233,861.22 compared to not even a shovel-ready job. So, is it the architect, or what is it? Because it definitely don't make sense to move this money to a project that's not even in existence yet, and we need our buildings repaired. So.
All right, Mrs. Esposito.
Yeah, so that's troublesome to me just because of the condition of a few of the Thibodeau buildings. But we keep being told we're in jeopardy of losing it, then how can we move it to Lockport and wait all that time for there to be, we can't be in that jeopardy of moving it if we
maybe
can move
we
it all
can
the
get
way.
Adam to come here and do the explanation, because I fully don't understand it. But
Okay.
the way I understand it, it's gonna cost us more money if we keep it there than moving it. It's like.
What do you mean by cost us more
I
money?
think we gotta add more money to it to put it back in, and that's what I heard. I don't know how true it is, but we'll get Adam to come explain it to us, and we'll know next meeting.
There was a question that said,
Hold on one second.
I'm sorry.
Are you done?
finished?
Mr. Grove.
There was a thing saying that one of the reasons it's not feasible due to anticipated unforeseen conditions that might impact the budget, and I assume that that's the 85,000. And look, I'm not totally blaming this administration. The other administration had years to do something, and it looks, this is the 6th amendment on this, so it's been moving around all over the place. But it landed back there, the stuff that needs to be done, I don't, and look, we can find money all over the place, but you don't take something from somebody that really needs it. If Twin Oaks is done.
Whoa, wait, what did you say?
Why don't we
you
just?
can find money somewhere else.
Mr. Chairman, why don't
Yes,
we
sir.
wait to get to Ms. Adams to come over here and explain it, maybe we get the answers to this over here if we do that.
Okay.
We could postpone.
If you're referring to Rita, we got the, I'm not finished. Rita, there was a motion the next meeting about moving money to the Rita project. If that's the money you're referring to that went from the, and that was something you were working on for a long time, and you and I had discussions about that, and it was kind of up against a deadline like this appears to be. But I know that there's engineering done. I did not speak with the engineer, but I know it's ready to roll. We just got to sign on it.
Mr. Otan?
Yeah, and I look, I'm not trying to turn this into a Thibodeau versus down the Bayou kind of deal at all. Don't get me wrong, but money gets moved around all the time. Since I've been here, it's been moved around. So I don't want to hear that. And, they specifically told us that this is part of funding from the state, and we're going to lose it. I mean, I don't quite know what's going on with the Thibodeau. Why y'all so concerned about the Thibodeau government complex? This is where the administration's house, I guess, where the council clerk's house. I'm not very familiar with it, but I would certainly think that we would find funding to fix whatever needs to be fixed there. I mean, if it's that important and there's something going on. But to potentially lose this money from the state because you don't want to move from one area to another, I don't think that's very valid, in my opinion.
Okay, I think.
Nooney, I think you're wrong. 2015, Mr. Holloway had the designs and ready to start that project at the beginning of 16. So it's not a battle between Thibodeau and Lafourche. It's the battle of just doing the right thing with the money, what it was designed to do, and that's to repair the Thibodeau complex. The building is in deplorable shape. Air conditioned, you just got that kind of working. We can use that $233,000 in that building, and we can use more. If it costs another $85,000, I can't see why we can't do a supplemental appropriation and put the other $85,000 and complete the job.
Okay, Mr. Otan?
Right, and look, the community center, this has been a 6-year project. It could have been done, I agree, by the last administration also. It could have been moved forward. Same thing with the boat launch in 2015. That's when all the money was allocated to all these other boat launches. Lockport was just looked over. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I still don't see why we would want to risk losing the money from the state, you know, from this funding based on the email that we saw today. I mean, was it, or are y'all thinking that it's an inaccurate email? Based on what? What makes y'all think that his information was inaccurate?
Mr. Jones?
Based on the project is ready to go, the design work is dead, the money is there, and it is allocated for the Thibodeau complex.
Ms. Lucy?
Right, if they're saying there's a time frame, this is what's confusing me. If there's a time frame, there's already a shovel-ready project, so to speak, versus not even a building. So if it was so time-sensitive, how could it be moved to where there's no building?
And I can only relate to what's going on with the community center. So I can tell you that we have August deadlines that we have to meet on this project. Environmental studies, the whole things, and my understanding is the planners design group has that. Everything's gonna be done. I was assured today by the engineer, they'll have it for August. So, and I don't know what parts had to be done by the state, what, you know, levels had to be achieved by certain dates, but I can tell you for the community center, we had August of this year because I think we've been through 6 extensions, and the last one is this August. We don't have to own the land, but we have to have certain criteria. I know one of them is the environmental study and there's some other ones.
So what you're
but I'm very
describing
familiar
is the
with that
problem
one.
with so what you're describing is not a problem with us losing this funding that's been set for the Thibodeau buildings. What you're talking about is a problem if you don't get that funded for your August deadline.
I don't know. Has the extensions been applied for? That's a question, I guess, for Adam. I read the email and he said, hey, we would risk losing, and I know we're on that cusp of losing it for the Lockport Community Center with August being the deadline date. And this is the same funding source. This all came from the same funding source.
I don't understand, how can we lose over $200,000 that was allocated for construction improvements of a building that still need those improvements?
The building is leaking. It is, you know, and they had a blue tarp on it very recently. I don't know, maybe the money needs to get there so they can do the engineering, which is the same issue I'm having with Abbey Road and we're having with Waverly. I don't know. I know this money's there and there's stuff that needs to be done.
We can't risk losing the money, but at the same time, we have to make sure that we spend it effectively. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, at the same token, she's saying gonna lose the money. We got a architect that's ready, that has the plan, the design for the building. All it takes is a resolution at the next meeting to be approved, that architect to start the work and then use that money. So we won't lose the money.
Do we want to get Adam's take on it next meeting, defer it? Y'all want to defer it and see what the details are on the funding?
Yeah, I mean, if it's going to fail, I would rather defer it. But remember, it was deferred at the last meeting, which is why he sent the email response. I sure wish that, you know, there had been a flurry of emails to go back and forth and get this corrected beforehand, but I would definitely pull my motion before losing the money to the state.
Okay, who seconded
Certainly.
this? Mr. Lorraine, you gonna pull your second and we'll defer it one more meeting? Okay, and you, okay. All right, August 8th. Will he be here to offer some details?
Yeah, he will be here to,
Okay.
you know, he's the only one who can explain it, so.
Okay, so it is deferred. When's the next meeting date?
July 25th.
July 25th. Yes. All right, number 35, resolution acknowledging and accepting a grant from Bayou Community Foundation in the amount of $5,000 for the purchase of 10 Chromebooks to be used for the Books of the Future project at the Reverend Lloyd Wallace Community Center, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Bourgeois, second by Mr. Lafont. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you for providing that for my district, Mr. Bourgeois. Number 36, resolution approving amendment number 2 to the Cooperative Endeavor Agreement, CEA, between the State of Louisiana Division of Administration, Office of Community Development, OCD, and Lafourche Parish Government for the assistance in the execution of the Hurricane Isaac Parish Hazard Mitigation Assistance, LMI, Cost Share Program, CFDA 14.228, grant number Bravo 13, Delta Sierra 22-0001, year 2013, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said amendment and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Ms. Esposito, second by Mr. Lafont. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Pass 9-0. Number 37, resolution approving amendment number 2 to the agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and T. Baker Smith LLC for the Cyprian Pump Station Improvements Project, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said amendment and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Bourgeois, second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0, Butch. Number 38, resolution approving revision number 1 to the agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and Disaster Recovery Unit of the Division of Administration of the Office of Community Development for the State of Louisiana for grant management services, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said revision and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Grow, second by Mrs. Esposito. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 39, resolution rescinding resolution number 17-216 that accepted the low quote from American Disposal LLC in the amount of $4,000 for contractor services related to nuisance abatement ordinance number 3895 concerning the demolition of a condemned structure located at 3037 Choctaw Road, Thibodaux, Louisiana 70301. Assessment number 0063114-100. Within Lafourche Parish, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mrs. Esposito, second by Mr. Bourgeois. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 40, resolution approving change order number 1 from Extreme Pump and Supply for the Cyprian Pump Station, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said change order and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Bourgeois, second by Mr. Grow. Any discussion? Being none, moving to a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 41, resolution approving the purchase of 1 John Deere 6110 Mike cab tractor from Deere & Company in the amount of $71,951.96 for the Department of Public Works, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Ms. Esposito, second by Mr. Jones. Any discussion? Mr. Bourgeois.
Just a quick question. If I remember reading it right, I think we're purchasing it from Sunshine Equipment.
Okay.
I don't know if that matters in these.
It says it in the document, the John Deere tractor.
Yeah, but I mean, we're not purchasing it.
John Deere, and it says,
Sunshine Equipment.
but it also says that they the distributor for John Deere.
Yeah, okay. I just didn't know if that made a distinction or not.
It's in there.
Okay.
Okay. Moving to a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 42, resolution approving the purchase of 1 Tiger Model SMR-EDBT4 side rotary extreme duty high mount mower from Covington Sales and Services, Inc. in the amount of $39,868.65 for the Department of Public Works, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Ms. Esposito, second by Mr. Jones. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Congratulations, Mr. Barnes. You're getting some nice stuff tonight. Number 43, resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and the State of Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development, DOTD, for the Federal Off-System Bridge Rehabilitation and Replacement Program, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Bourgeois. Second by? No second? Second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. We'll move to section M. Questions for the administration? Session 2, any? Being none, moving forward to section N, council reports, presentations, updates, and or questions, session 2. Being none, moving forward to section O, discussion. Being none. Can we get a motion to adjourn this meeting? Moved by Mr. Bourgeois, second by Mr. Lorraine. The meeting is hereby, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Adjourned at 7:01 p.m.